In town by town, 40 by 40, across Saskatchewan, football is the unstoppable force. Inspirational, confrontational, generational. Tonight is a story about a football province, not a nation. It's about the sons of Moose Jaw and Weyburn, Humboldt and Unity. It's the Regina Rams and the Huskies from Saskatoon. Tonight, Saskatchewan, this game belongs to you.
Well, win or lose, this could be the final game for Mark Mueller at quarterback at Mosaic Stadium for the University of Regina Rams. 282 yards per game this season, second only to Eric Gillespie of the Calgary Dinos. And he's up against Drew Burko, who returned to the Saskatchewan Huskies last week after missing 3 games with an injury. 20 of 29 with 4 touchdown passes. So that was a strong game for him in the final one against UBC, a victory for the Huskies. And also Mitch Friesen in a big game as well. The ball hawk in the secondary for the Huskies with 3 interceptions this year. He had 2 against the Thunderbirds in the big win for the Huskies to secure 3rd spot in Canada West. It was cold in Saskatoon last week. Not so bad here, but boy, is the snow ever coming down, and it has been for much of the day as we get set for this Hardy Cup semifinal. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Crown Produce Canada West football on Shaw. With the smoke coming in, the Regina Rams are about to hit the field. I'm Andy Neal. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. You can probably see the smoke even clearer on HD on channel 303. Well, it's Hardy Cup semifinal weekend, and it starts with a Saskatchewan showdown between the Huskies and the Rams. Saskatchewan is certainly synonymous with Canada West playoffs. They've been to this point of the season in 12 consecutive years, but the playoffs have not at all been kind to the Huskies in recent memory, a program that won 3 Vanier Cups in the 1990s. Since they hosted the Vanier Cup in 2006 and lost to Laval, Saskatchewan is 1-6 over that span. In fact, of those 7 games, 6 of them were played in Saskatoon, so a bit of a surprising stat there. But their lone win over that stretch was against the team that they're going to face this evening, the Regina Rams, back in 2009. Now, as for the Rams, they came out of the blocks with a loss against the Calgary Dinos at McMahon Stadium, but then won 6 of their last 7 to close out the year for a 6-2 record, which tied a school mark for conference wins in a season. And they won the lone matchup of the season with the Huskies back on September 21st at Griffith Stadium by a 35-26 count. So they've got that feather in their cap going into this second matchup of the season, a do or die here at Mosaic Stadium. Let's send it upstairs to Jim Mullen, and we welcome Dave Benefield to the broadcast as well. They have the call tonight, guys.
I don't know if we're going to call Andy Neal Frosty or Smoky after that opening. As for the Saskatchewan Huskies, Andy talked a bit about it, the misfortune in the playoffs since 2006, but hope in Saskatoon is spelled B-U-R-K-O. As in Drew Burko, the outstanding redshirt freshman quarterback who has been deadly accurate from the pocket. He has some wheels, he can run if he needs to, but his ability to run and an offense and read defenses has been quite remarkable considering his age.
Drew Burko in the pregame shot looked like a guy I used to hunt back in the day named Kerwin Bell, but he stands in there like Kerwin Bell and throws the ball with great precision, great release. I love the way he uses his guys, Hillis and Stevens.
Well, you mentioned Kid Hillis. He had 57 receptions this year. That was just 2 off the Canada West mark. He would have got the record, too, if he would have played the full 8 games. He rested for 2 games with injury. He has been absolutely fantastic.
Kid Hillis, 5'9", 175, Weston Dressler type guy. He can get into zones, find the open spot. The option routes are there. He's on the same page as Burko. And Stevens gives you a little bit something different, but the same sort of guys catch the ball, sure-handed, and make plays.
As for the Regina Rams, no wins in the playoffs since 2007, but you know that the heart and soul of this team is Mark Mueller. He's completed over 67% of his passes, and he comes into this game with a shoulder that's about 65%.
I mean, just stud, heart. Mark Mueller is a general. That's all you can say about it. He's the guy that's going to give the Rams tonight a chance to win this game and put those receivers back to use because they've been without a quarterback for a lot of the time this year. But Mark Mueller's going to give this team a chance tonight.
Well, you said he's the general. His grandfather was the little general who plied his trade on this field, as you may have seen in the opening. As for the Regina defense, they have been absolutely solid on this run, and one guy that's back into the lineup is Stephon Charles, who's at the top of the CFL Scouting Bureau, and there's even NFL teams looking at this guy.
6'5", 310. You can't coach size. You can't coach an edge. He plays with that. He brings that. Now it's going to help getting pressure straight up the middle, so Saskatchewan's going to have to be ready for that. And this ball-hawking secondary of the Rams, man, if we can get pressure up the middle and get some help off the end with Wellman, you're going to have a different game tonight.
Let's go back downstairs to Smokey the Snowman, Andy Neal.
You talk about the elements, Jim and Dave, no question. Well, 4 playoff meetings so far between the Huskies and Rams. To this point, we'll see who gets bragging rights after 2012. The winner gets Calgary or Manitoba, who play their semifinal tomorrow. Kickoff is next from snowy Mosaic Stadium in Regina. Huskies and Rams and Crown Produce Canada West Football on Shaw.
And welcome back to Mosaic Stadium as we get set for this Canada West semifinal. The snow just keeps on falling down here in Regina. It's -3. The wind will not be a factor, but that slippery field certainly will be. As we take a look at the starting quarterbacks, it's youth versus the veteran, as Drew Burko will take on Mark Mueller. Burko with those outstanding numbers, considering he had to sit out a few games, and Mark Mueller very productive in his 5th year. If you factor in the injury to Mueller, it's really his 6th year. So taking a look at both these teams on that frozen field. You were down on that field, David. You said it is mighty slippery down there.
Yeah, you're going to have to play with a lot of control tonight. There's just no ripping it. You better stick it in low gear, stay there, and when you get a chance to burst, make sure your feet are down. So it's going to be tough for the interior tonight.
Let's go downstairs to Dave Thomas.
Hey, thank you very much, guys. Joined by Husky receiver Kit Hillis. You sat out last week to be ready for this week, are you?
Yeah, I'm 100% ready to go. I'm excited right now. I'm ready.
Obviously, the weather's a lot warmer than what it was last week, but the snow presents whole new challenges. Which is going to be more difficult? Looking up into the snow, worrying about your footing?
You know, probably footing, but hey, we're ready to play. We're out here. We were cutting well, and so the thing is just catch that ball and we'll fly around out here.
Kit, thanks for this. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Kit Hillis, guys, let's go back up to you.
Jeffrey Moore and Jarvis James will await this kickoff for the Saskatchewan Huskies. The Huskies wearing their road white uniforms with the green pants. The Regina Rams in their green uniforms with the gold pants. And this Canada West semifinal number 1 is underway. Here's Jarvis James taking it up the numbers as he gets out across the 33-yard line. And a little surprise there with James is he goes and runs up where the field is plowed on the return.
Oh, yes. I mean, but I love the north and south. Not a lot of time wasted trying to run east and west. He's going north and south and make a guy miss on the way in.
Saskatchewan jumping right to it with Drew Burko at the controls. 1st and 10 Huskies, ball at their own 33-yard line. They send 3 to the right side, 2 to the left. Buchanan, the lone man in the backfield. Burko turns and hands to Buchanan, and he goes straight up the hash mark and gets it up to the 50-yard line.
Just a simple draw to start the day to slow everybody down. Now, they keep on doing this. This is going to slow down the pressure up front, and they're going to start looking, and that's when you start throwing the dimes on them.
Gain of 26 on that last play. 1st down, Saskatchewan. Ball at their own 49-yard line. Going in that familiar 3-by-2 again. Burko goes to the air, throws, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Jeffrey Moore over the middle at the Regina 50-yard line. And there you go. You see the Huskies number somewhere in the middle of the pack, really. Although their passing offense has been productive this year, using Chase Bradshaw and Drew Burko. By the way, Bradshaw not dressing for this game as his shoulder took a bit of a hit against UBC in the final game of the season. On 2nd and 10, Burko is flushed out of the pocket, and he is sacked. Benton Gianni with the sack. And for Gianni,
it was a great, what they did was basically it was a great twist. Watch the pressure inside. You got heat off the edge from Famulak, and then Charles just cleans up. That's just a great way just to color flash. You come off and you make a play.
That
in
is
the spot.
That does belong to Stephon Charles. That's his 3rd sack of this campaign, and it is punting time for the Saskatchewan Huskies. And Colton Solomon will get tripped up by Bryce McCall for a return of about 3 yards. And so the Regina Rams will have okay field position to start out with from their own 40.
Talk about a sure tackler. Dry, snow, rain. McCall can do it. He's a tackler.
First down, Regina. Ball just short of their own 40-yard line. Schneider wide to the left side. Solomon wide to the right. Mueller from shotgun throws over the middle. Complete. Jay Smith snags it at the 45. That'll be good for a gain of close to 6. Nice spot, actually. They mark it up just short of the 47. So they'll bring up 2nd and 4.
You talk about a guy who's prepped. Mark Mueller probably knows this defense better than the defensive players. I mean, the timing on that pass. This is going to be one of those nights for him.
Well, people are assuming that there's going to be a ground game because of this snow, but the short passing game of Regina should work pretty well. But this time they keep it on the ground with Kiafwe, who puts a shoulder down and gets it into Saskatchewan territory at the 52.
Just a great way to keep a defense already off balance. You know, you make the easy completion, then you come back with the run right off tackle. Look at the bounce outside.
Travoy Martinez felt that collision from Mike Kiafwe. 1st and 10, Regina Rams. And there goes Kiafwe again around the right side. Across the 45, he'll be about 3 yards short of the first down marker.
Kipaway is an ideal back for tonight. I mean, he's a heavy kid, about 200 and maybe 20 pounds. He looks like that. And he just runs nice, low, not a blazer. Look at the pad level there. I mean, just has a way of just bringing it. Very difficult on a slippery surface tonight to bring a guy like that down.
2nd down and 3. Kiafwe gets the rock again. He snowshoes his way close to a first down, but after some swarming tackling led by Eskelson, it looks as though Regina will be short, and it'll be decision time now for the Regina Rams.
You know, sometimes you can soften a defense up. Night like tonight, cold, you know, you have to tackle a big back, and then you start working the play action in later on.
Let's go downstairs to Dave Thomas.
Well, guys, about 2 or 3 inches of snow has fallen in Regina since about mid-afternoon, but you got to give the grounds crew here at Mosaic Stadium a big tip of the cap tonight, because the stadium, much better than what it looks. Actually, the snow is melting on the field, so it's not icy and it's not hard. Now, a lot of the players were concerned in the pregame with the shoes they're going to wear. The Huskies actually have brought over 200 pairs of shoes with them, kind of like your closet, Jim. But they're telling me that they've gone ahead and they're going with a hard cleat. They're using that cleat because it'll still sink in, because the field is not frozen beneath the snow, and it's given them some pretty good traction. So both teams seem to be pretty confident in the footwear that they're bringing out tonight.
Well, there was a concern with freezing rain. We had freezing rain here in the morning, but the mercury went above 0. And so I guess the field's broken up down there, but as we mentioned off the top, the traction was a major issue, and it will be put to the test now as Landon Bush comes into the game at quarterback on the short yardage unit, has a full yard to go, plunges into the line, and it looks as though he has it. He needed to get across the 42. It looks like he should be at about the 41 and a half. Well, he just follows the surge of his blockers there on the right side of the line, followed Steve Hansen. Got the yard plus what he needed to get, so Mueller comes back into the game. They mark the ball at the 42. First down, Rams on the march. This is the fourth play of the drive. Solomon wide to the right side, Schneider wide to the left. Smith in motion. As Mueller back to pass, has time. He's going to drift it up along the sideline, looking for Janata, and it is smacked away by the CIS Defensive Player of the Week last week, Mitch Friesen.
Mitch Friesen playing center field, basically. Just sits back there, gets a great jump on the ball. Ball hung up for a little bit, and made just a great play. Look, he's reading eyes the entire time. Mark didn't take his eyes off, and Friesen just right over top, great angle. Just enough. He was just there, just enough to be in the right place. He felt body, made a great play with the one hand.
Dylan Dawson checks into the game for Kiapway on this 2nd and 10 play from the 42. Mueller has time, zips it underneath, complete for Solomon. He dances his way close to a first down, got across the 35 to the 34. He might be about a yard and a half short depending on the spot. Mitch Friesen was on fire against the UBC Thunderbirds last week. This is how you earn a CIS Defensive Player of the Week. 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, 5.5 tackles. They honored the 5th-year players at Griffith Stadium last week. He's a 4th-year player, but his clock has run out. They gave him the flag to carry out on the field to lead the team. He was motivated by it, and obviously came through with one of the best games of his career.
Just in the right place at the right time. You can't coach that.
3rd down, and we will call it 2 yards to go, and Mueller remains in at quarterback, so the short yardage unit isn't in there. And Kiapway gets hit up at the line by Eskilsson, and this is going to be very close. It will depend on the spot.
Oh.
Corbin Eskilsson did a great job of filling the gap on Dylan Dawson.
A little too high. He was a little too high running through that hole. It's a short yardage situation. You got to get that pad level down and know where you're going. Oh yes, that's just a great play. You got Suter in there, making sure you're not going anywhere.
Now this looks like it's going to be short, and it's going to be short by about 2 feet. And the Saskatchewan Huskies force the first turnover of the game as they will get the ball at their own 32-yard line.
You get a great surge like that.
He's looking for Charlie Power out on that far side, who stepped. lose a yard as he was trapped up in the backfield. Joel Suter in there amongst others. Holding the call against the Regina Rams.
I like what the Huskies are doing with their 30. They're just eating up gaps, allowing the backers to make plays.
10-yard penalty, repeat first
They're
down.
not trying to hit gaps, Jim. They're just holding on, sit there, occupy the gap, and let their backer come in and fill.
There's the hold, and
Oh, yeah, that's all day.
yeah, and that hold was on Suter, who was in there at the front end of making that defensive play. 1st and 20, Rams. Mueller throwing deep over the middle, tries to find Janata, and he can't squeeze it at the 39. And I think that's the first time we've really seen the snow play a role in affecting a receiver.
Ball security all day long. And that would have just been a tough catch. I mean, lots of hands up, tips here, there.
Janata with 44 receptions this year. He usually makes those types of receptions, even though it was a tough one in traffic with Zacharias in coverage. 2nd and 20. Mueller looks right, then dumps it over the middle. Landon Bush has it, and he dances his way up to the 33, but he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage before the penalty, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10. You never know what sort of game that you're going to get in conditions like this. It could go either way. Low scat or high score, there is an advantage for the receiver in there.
The receiver knows exactly what's going on, depth and everything. It's up to the defense to be able to actually come under control, square up and be able to make right off a nice tackle like Eskelson just did.
That was a nice punt by Bodner, forces T.T. back to spot 4, and he'll just south and get up across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Canada West football on Shaw is brought to you by Crown Produce. Crown Produce, putting Canada's greatest retailers together with the world's greatest produce. Crown Produce, proud sponsors of Canada West football on Shaw and Canadian University Countdown. Seen across the nation, and for you folks in Regina, you'll have to see it on YouTube. It's also on Shaw Direct, $2.99 every Thursday at 6:30. 1st and 10, Saskatchewan, ball at their own 46. Burko pulls it down and throws complete. And there's Moore lowering the boom and getting the first down, plus an extra 6 yards for a gain of 16. Didn't know Jeffrey Moore had that much fight in him.
Oh, yeah. Jeffrey Moore took on 3 Rams. Great sure catch. Takes on 3. Jameer Walker in the group. And still rolls out for an additional yard. It's hard yak yard by Moore.
Moore with 10 receptions and only 4 games played after suffering an elbow injury back in week 2. First down, Saskatchewan. This time they will keep it on the ground with Buchanan. And Buchanan will mush his way across the 45 down to the 43-yard line.
Buddy, I was just watching Stephon Charles, and just strength is something that you just can't coach. And when he takes Arco and throws him and still winds up in the middle of the tackle, just a lot. That's a strong kid out there.
Hillis wide to the right side. Stevens wide to the left, the 2 favorite targets of Drew Burko. On this 2nd down and 6 play, the pass is a one-hopper that falls incomplete, as he was looking for Garrett Burgess, who is coming back to his quarterback at the 35. Would have been good for a first down, but it looks like the Huskies will try to hem the Regina Rams in deep.
Drew's going to have to just settle down in that pocket. Hopefully he can get a nice spot on the ball and just let it go. It looks like he's underthrowing a few guys. Maybe it's not a great grip right now for him. He's got to get used to it real quick.
Solomon and Schneider await this Kolodinsky punt as he angles it between the number and the boundary. Schneider will take it at his own 7 and get pounded as he gets across the 15-yard line. So Saskatchewan winning the battle of field position so far, forcing the Regina Rams back. There's Brian Towers, who has successfully over his 28 years guided the Huskies to the playoffs, but sometimes the seasons just haven't finished the way he would like.
You know, there's certain things you can control in playoffs. You know, it just happens. Things just happen. I never like to blame losses on coaches, so I often put it on the players.
Mueller 3 of 6 for 26 yards, and on this first down play, he will just hand it off. He'll get a couple on the ground.
Get that big Rams line trying to take advantage of that Huskies 3-4. Big body on little body sliding around. That's what you want. Giepe did a nice job of stutter stepping, trying to help his lineman get in better position to move.
Gain of 5 on that last one by Kiapway. 2nd and 5, Regina at their own 18-yard line. Mueller going to the air, throwing complete for Solomon, who hangs on after getting caught at the 24, and he should have the first down.
If you're a football fan, you've got to appreciate the Huskies defense. They come up and put helmets and pads on you. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's Luke Teal, that kid, he's playing like a crown peach tonight. I mean, return-wise, tackles, he's having a great game right now.
Luke Teal, no more noted for his speed coming into this year, but he showing quite the hammer as he's one of the leading tacklers on the Saskatchewan Husky side. First down, Regina. Mueller has time over the middle, complete for Connor Haas at the 41-yard line. It'll be a gain of 15, and that'll move the chains.
Mark Mueller sitting in the pocket. They're starting to get some pressure out of that pure 30-man front, and just delivers. Nice shot, nice patience, giving his receivers a chance to find a spot in that zone.
Solomon wide to the right side. Richards wide to the left on this first down play. Kiapway gets the call. Kiapway drives his way close to the 45. It'll just be short of one of the few plowed out yard lines we have on this field. Only the 45s are plowed out. The numbers are plowed out and the hash marks are plowed out along with the goal lines. And I'm wondering if the plow is going to make another tour here between the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second. 30 seconds remaining in this first quarter, tied at 0. Regina Rams started this drive at their own 14. Mueller back to pass on 2nd and 7, throws it up, and it's almost intercepted. Mitch Friesen with a shot at it, gets his second breakup of the game. And that'll force another punting situation for the Rams.
Mitch Friesen with a great break on the ball. Just decides like, hey, I mean, that's a great read, great footwork.
And that may be a situation where Mueller doesn't have quite the amount of zip on that football from his shoulder injury, throwing that long out to the sideline.
Oh, you're right. You are definitely right, buddy.
Bodner in to punt this one away. This should be the final play of the first quarter, barring a penalty, as Moore picks it on the hop and is tripped up by Stug after a return of about 5 yards. And when we return for the second quarter, we'll have a scoreless ball game in the snow here in Regina. You're watching Crown Canada West Football semifinal action on Shaw and Shaw HD 303.
Well, back here in Mosaic Stadium, and yes, it's a scoreless opening quarter, but that's not the only 0 on the board. You could really put a 0 as for the temperature. The temperature is hovering around 0 tonight here at Mosaic Stadium, so yes, the snow is coming down, and footwear is a concern, but so too are hands. The last pass that Drew Burko threw for the Huskies, he came off saying the ball might have slipped out of his hand. So they went ahead, they wrapped the towel around it, not the heater beside me. Unlike the Rams on the other sideline, University of Saskatchewan Huskies have declined to turn their heater on yet. Maybe it's mind over matter, I'm not sure, but They don't have it on here yet. It's not toasty warm or anything, but I guess it is up with you and Jim and Dave.
Well, we do have the windows wide open here in our broadcast location. We have a bit of a heater working for us here, but the Saskatchewan Huskies last week, it was -6, and they had heaters on both sidelines, and now they're declining the heaters. Maybe they were listening to Lawrence Nixon complain last week about how they weren't real men because they had heaters on the sidelines.
That's coming from a soft Vancouverite.
He's a converted prairie boy now.
Yeah, as the pot. Speaking here. I'm not soft, though. I don't care.
Well, what do these offenses have to do to get their game back online here? We've seen a little bit of movement, but not much finish.
For the Huskies right now, play action. I'm a big fan of the play action to slow these guys down and try to work on the timing routes. Rams, continue doing what you're doing. Try to win the field position game.
1st and 10 Huskies as we get ready to start this second quarter at their own 49-yard line. Go 3 by 2. Regina brings 5 on the rush. Burko lets it go, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Garrett Burgess over on the far sideline. And Cody Johnstone provided some pretty good coverage out there.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That was a smart play by Cody. And you get stuck in that position. Sometimes you got to decide what do you want to do. He played hands. I mean, he just played hands. He didn't have to go turning around. He just played the hands.
Burko only 3 of 8 for 41 yards. And now we've got an injured Saskatchewan Husky. I believe that's Garrett Burgess, who was feeling the effects of that collision with Johnstone after that incomplete pass. But Burko hasn't got his game on quite yet, going only 3 of 8 so far.
The Rams are doing a great job at bringing different looks, bringing an extra backer, DB, just enough just to bring a little pressure. So if you can get that kind of pressure off the edges, and you see what Jenny is doing inside, Stephon Charles, what they're able to do inside, I mean, it's working right now, but you have to make adjustments.
Shane Buchanan with 2 carries for 20 yards. Who's been the most productive guy on the field, the tailback for the Saskatchewan Huskies in that first quarter. He remains in right behind Drew Burko on this 2nd and 10 play. Burko going to the air again, throwing, and it is complete for Mitch Stevens over on the far sidelines, and he'll be close to the first down. They might need to measure on this one.
Now that time they brought pressure right up the gut. Huskies picked up the pressure well, and Burko just stood in there and threw a nice little strike. And anytime you bring that kind of pressure, and guys have to man up, you have to play to your strength. If you're gonna play up on the line and put your hands on, then you better do that. If you're gonna play off, you have to be ready for an option route, like a quick cut by the receiver. You have to be ready.
There you see the Huskies season, that low point there as they acquired injuries. Burko knocked out of that Regina game, and then they went into Calgary -6 of their starters. And I think that's one of the reasons why that score was so lopsided between the Calgary Dinos and the Saskatchewan Huskies that day at McMahon Stadium. So the Huskies are just short. It will be 3rd down, but they'll only need a few links of the chain to make the first down. This would be the case where Chase Bradshaw would come into the game, but he's injured and he's not dressed, so Burko will have to call his own number here or decide to hand the ball off to Buchanan on this 3rd and 1 play. Burko rolls, throws, and throws complete for Buchanan. He turns it upfield and gets the first down plus a huge bonus more as he gets it down near the 25.
Now that was a great call. Get everyone concentrating on the 2nd and inches, and you pull that out. your 3rd and inches, you pull that out. That's just a great call by Coach.
Well, if there's been a criticism of the Saskatchewan Huskies come playoff time is that they run the same old stuff. That time they pulled something out of the playbook that wasn't the same old thing, and it turned into a big gain as they keep this drive alive. 1st and 10 at the 25. Burko throwing to the sidelines, incomplete. He was trying to seek Braden George, the 5th-year man, a little over his head.
Samulak letting him know I'm in the area. Great hit.
There you see the first quarter stats. Not a whole lot of offense to tell you about there, but the one turnover by the Regina Rams was on downs midway through a drive into Saskatchewan territory. So both teams managing the ball respectively. 2nd and 10 at the Regina 26. Burko from shotgun. Here comes the rush. Stands in, throws, incomplete. Jameer Walker was in great position on that one for the breakup over on the far side as Kent Hillis couldn't escape his reach.
I was watching the pressure coming up the middle there, buddy, but that's going to be the matchup of the night. Walker, Hillis, I'd pay to see that, matter of fact, all day. Both of them are highly skilled guys. It's just, that's a great matchup.
So Cole Sampson comes into the game. He will be attempting a 32-yard field goal. Trust me, it's on the 32. He's 9 of 16 this year. From 30 to 39, he's only 1 of 3. Placement's down, the kick is up. It's a line drive, and he pushes it wide. It's up to Walker to return it out of the end zone so he doesn't surrender the single point, and he does, and gets the job done. So he brings it out across the 10. It will come out to the 20 as a result. And the Saskatchewan drive stalls. The hold's down, the placement's down.
Oh, look at the laces.
Ouch. In this weather, there is a flag down, however. It might be on the return. The Saskatchewan Huskies thought it was on the snap of the ball.
You got a foot full of laces.
That hurts, especially when it's 0 degrees. Rough play. That'd be unnecessary roughness. Not sure if you picked it up on the mic, but it'd be against Benton Gianni. And instead of the Regina Rams starting at their own 20, they are going to be starting at their own 5-yard line. So literally in the shadow of their own goalpost, Mark Mueller breaks huddle. They send 3 to the left side, 2 to the right. Mueller hands the ball off to Kiapway, who spun around at the 1-yard line, then taken to the turf. As the Saskatchewan Huskies signaled that that gang tackle should have resulted in a safety.
Now that's that kid, Luke Teal, just coming up there, making a tackle at the line. I tell you, he's having a whale of a game right now.
Smart
but you
move.
got to get north and south though, Jim. You can't sit there and try to stretch it if you're not that sort of a runner.
Well, if you can't cut on this field either, but a great move to bring Teal up from the halfback position to read that. Ball marked at the 2, 2nd and 13. Here's some north-south running that will result in a few yards at least, but the Regina Rams will be hard-pressed now as they will have to punt out of their own end zone. No, look. Indeed they will, and this will be an interesting call here. Do you give up the 2 or do you punt this away? I think with Chris Bodner in, one of the strongest punters in the CIS, you punt this one away.
Yeah, you let Bodner do it. He's got that leg.
Looks like Saskatchewan's ready to bring the house, though, with only one man back. No, Bodner's going to give up the 2 in a 0-0 game. And the first points on the board will go to the Saskatchewan Huskies as they take a 2-0 lead. A little surprised at that call?
Well, the way Luke's returning kicks right now and that special teams of the Huskies are playing, that was a safe call. That really was a safe call.
So Frank McChrystal, the head coach of the Regina Rams, making the call and giving up 2. And you have to wonder how many years Frank McChrystal is going to continue coaching the Regina Rams. I had a discussion with him after walkthrough. He says the end's coming up soon, but it's not right away. He's going to be around for a few more years with 21 fifth-year players. Moving on, he knows that he's got to restock the shelves, so to speak.
So the end is near, but there's no one walking up and down the streets with the end is near signs?
Well, you know what? I think there's a guy walking up and down the sidelines and lining up behind center that might make a fine head coach in the CIS, and his name is Mark Mueller.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if anyone can that's as young as Mark in the next couple of years, fast track him and turn him loose. It would be, that would be a great choice.
There's been a number of quarterbacks that have come into the OUA and have moved up as OCs that have been impressive that now have head coaching credentials. And I think if Mueller took the steering wheel as an OC for a couple of years, I think he could step in and run this Regina Rams team. But right now, running the ball back up across the 45, up to the 47 are the Saskatchewan Huskies as James brings it out. And the Huskies are trying to break that drought now. That was a semifinal loss to UBC with a bit of an asterisk because of the ineligible player situation.
Boo.
But look at that string.
Yeah, a lot of L's.
They were up 30-3 over the Alberta Golden Bears with 9 minutes remaining in that game in 2010 and managed to lose 30-31. Maybe the most heartbreaking of all was the Hardy Cup loss. And Burko juggles the ball and jumps on it just as Ryan Wellman was breathing down his neck. That'll be a loss of 5, maybe 6. Little miscommunication, malfunction at the junction in the backfield.
Oh, working that Z motion, fly motion, and just a little fast. Got to get that timing right. That's a heavy timing offense right there.
Second and 15, Saskatchewan at their own 42. Flags are down as the pass sails incomplete. We'll have to see if somebody jumped at the line, judging by where that flag was thrown. That's against the Regina Rams. Offside.
Little anticipation. Burko's great at drawing guys offside. He barks things out. The kid's got some experience. He looks just like Kerwin Bell.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not, considering that YouTube celebration that's out there. Second and 10 at the 47 for the Saskatchewan Huskies. Flags are down because Kid Hillis was about 10 yards on the wrong side of the ball.
They're starting to show blitz, starting to play a little chess game here. Guess who's coming to hit you in the ear hole? And they caught him.
No, you don't have to be a lip reader to figure that one out. Offside against Kit Hillis of Saskatchewan. They move it 5 yards back. Second and 15 now for the Huskies from their own 42. Burko stands in, throwing long, looking for Hillis. It's over his head. Hillis tries to buy an interference flag from the coverage, but he's not going to get one. And it's third down again. And the snow has really compromised the ability of these offenses to produce.
Strong hammer blitz with Johnstone coming off the wide side. Walker toe-to-toe with the man. This is the duel of the day. And that time, that's just great play.
Jameer Walker and Caitlin Schneider awaiting this Kolodinsky punt. That's a great punt into the night, forcing Walker back about 10 yards to his own 20. And he will get mowed down after a return of about 5 yards. Charlie Power, I believe, was the first man in on it.
Oh, Charlie Power got all of it. He got all of Mr. Walker. Look at that.
With a nice assist from Braxton Lawrence, number 3. Charlie Power finishes Jameer Walker off. Plus, there's a penalty on top of that, which will hem the Regina Rams in deep once again. So one thing the Rams have been battling has been the elements, but they've also been battling poor field position throughout this first half.
And that can haunt you later in the game. If you ever start getting desperate now, guys want to pull the trigger maybe a little too soon, start putting the ball in the wrong places, and you got guys like Friesen running back there. Just the ball just magically seems to wind up in his hands. So
Rams send 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left on this first down play from the 18. Mueller just dumps it off for Kiapway, who tries to go north-south and does for about 5, maybe 6 yards. Teal in there along with Seamus Neary to make the stop.
Experienced quarterback showing you progression, reading his progressions, throws to the check down. Kiapway in the flat.
Another flag on the play. And it will depend on when this roughing play occurred. Did it occur after the yards were gained or before the yards were gained? No. We saw number 64, Chris Mercer, the left tackle, take an extra shot. And when you are that close to your own goal line, that is not smart football, son.
That is never smart football. If you slow down, stop, walk, and then speed up to try to hit a guy, it's not acceptable.
So instead of 2nd and 6, the Rams are looking at 2nd and 23. Ball on their own 5-yard line. And they will play it conservative and keep it on the ground, and Dylan Dawson shuffles his way, pops up the ball, and it's a Saskatchewan touchdown as Luke Teal scoops up the spoils and takes it into the end zone.
Ball security in the elements. You don't put the ball on the ground. You have your 4 points of pressure. You just don't do it. And look who's there to scoop and score. Luke Teal.
Luke Teal, who's had a solid game defensively, who's had a great return game, gets the payoff by scooping up the fumble by Dylan Dawson. Friesen in on that hit, freeing the ball up, and Luke Teal gets the gift. It's only the first week of November, but Christmas comes early for Luke Teal. And the Saskatchewan Huskies are looking to go up 9-0 with this point after. It's up and through, but not after a bobbled snap by Garrett Burgess. And the bad field position has been converted into points finally for the Saskatchewan Huskies. Jeff Hughes moved up, made the initial hit.
Yes. Hughes came up. You have guys that tackle people. You have guys that tackle the ball. Stripping it in this sort of weather, tackling the ball is what you want to do. And they're gang tackling. And then the second guy comes in and hits that ball. That's just great. And scoop and score. Well coached. Well coached.
Well, the Huskies lead 9-0 with 8:50 remaining in this second quarter of Canada West semifinal number 1. number 2 tomorrow at 5 o'clock Calgary time as the first place Calgary Dinos take on the 4-4 Manitoba Bisons. And we'll have that game for you on Shaw and Shaw HD 303. Jameer Walker takes the kickoff at the 20, 25-30, 35-40, up across the 45, and a good return as he steps out of bounds just short of the 47-yard line. Guess what? There's a flag on the play.
Orange Laundry, never very good.
And it is way back at the 22-yard line. Holding the call against the Regina Rams. So the Rams once again will be deep in their own territory.
But Jameer Walker is getting it, what Luke Teal's been doing, and the returners from the Huskies. Make a quick move, left, right, and get north and south right now. And that time, great return by Jameer Walker, but the holding will crush you every time.
They mark the ball at the 35. First down Rams, trailing 9-0. After a Luke Teal fumble recovery. Converted into a touchdown. Pass over the middle into triple coverage. It's incomplete as Mueller was looking for Colton Solomon, who got a part of that, could have secured it, even though he was in traffic.
Travoy Martinez breaking on balls like he's back in the native land. And it's just 3 Husky defenders right there breaking on the ball. Weather, not even. I mean, look, that's just a great read all the way around. He's pumped.
Martinez with 2 picks this year was the CIS Defensive Player of the Week way back in week 1. 2nd and 10, Regina at their own 35. Mueller sails it up and finds Jay Smith for a completion of 20 yards, and that will move the chains for the Rams.
Exceptional work by that Rams offensive line. Great time. And Mueller sitting there coolly, just waiting for his receivers just to find the spot so he can get them to him. It's great time. Sure catch. Put the ball away and get down.
Ball just short of the midfield stripe. Flags down on this first down play. Mueller steps up, will call his own number and try to hook slide. He takes a bit of a pop in there. As looks like he'll lose 1 or 2 yards, but we'll have to see what these flags are about once again. It looks like it's going to be against the Saskatchewan Huskies this time.
Now this is a difficult game to prepare for. I mean, you're rushing 3, control pass rushing, you're dropping 9. I mean, this is a tough one. I mean, anytime you do this, your receivers have to know where they fit into the offense and how they fit against this 9-man zone.
Mark Mueller, 7 of 12 for 70 yards so far this evening. No points on the board for the Rams. They trailed 9-0. 1st and 5 now after the penalty. Kiapway rumbles his way across the 45, and he will have the first down.
Very active, very, very active out there. You got corners coming up making tackles on big backs, and O-line just working together. They need to get a score here. If you're a Rams fan, you got to get a score in right now. Kiapway bounces it outside.
Mike Kiapway with 571 yards rushing this year. Best day, 124 yards against the Alberta Golden Bears. Averaging 71 yards out of the backfield. Big question about the Rams was the running game, and Kiapway has had the answer. First down, Rams. As Mueller goes deep, and he has Addison Richards down inside the 10-yard line.
Addison Richards making the catch. I mean, you hang the ball up there with a kid like McCall running around. Man, that's putting a lot of confidence in your receivers to make that catch.
That will be a gain of 38 yards for Addison Richards as they get the ball inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. First and goal to go from that point. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Mueller on the roll, looking to the end zone. Everyone's covered. Checks back the other way. Throws over the middle. And it's complete down inside the 5 as he connects with Jay Smith. But a great job by the Saskatchewan secondary to cover those receivers like a blanket.
Oh yeah, but I like moving Mueller around. You've given him a nice spot for the last few plays behind the center. Now he starts rolling around a little bit.
Gain of 4 on that last completion to Smith. Second and goal to go. Rams from the Saskatchewan 4. Rams going 3 by 2. Saskatchewan brings the house, and Mueller cannot escape. A team sack by the Saskatchewan Huskies shuts down the Rams drive at the 10-yard line. Nowhere to hide for Mark Mueller.
Mark stood in there tough. You would have never known the kid was injured for all these weeks. Stood in there tough, and they just brought the house. This is where the receivers have to sort it out real quick and make an adjustment to that blitz. And when they see all those guys up there, you have to break off the route right now and give Mark a great picture.
Well, at least half that sack could go to Ben Rush. Rush with 4 sacks coming into this game. He made initial contact, and this has been one sore point for the Regina Rams. Field goal kicking. This one will come from 17. Wandler, only 6 of 13 this year. He hasn't tried one from inside the 20. This one is up, and this one is through. So the Regina Rams are on the board finally with 4:52 remaining in the second quarter. The score, the Saskatchewan Huskies 9, the Regina Rams 3.
Not bad. You had to come up with something. You got to put some points on the board right now to stay in this game. I know it sounds funny, it's only 9 points, but with the surface being like this, I mean, you have to stay close.
So the Saskatchewan Huskies take it, 1st and 10 at their own 35. See what sort of reply the Green Dogs have here to that Regina drive that resulted in a field goal. They'll keep it on the ground for virtually no gain. Logan Brooks wrapping up Shane Buchanan as he hit the line of scrimmage.
You notice, Jim, you got some of the D linemen. They're not tired because they're not in their stances. They're actually giving Burko a different picture, hoping to get them thrown off by standing there and waiting. See, they're waiting because he's talking right now. He's calling out different things. And so they're trying to wait. Now they're going to settle in.
They bring 6 on Burko. Burko throws quickly, complete for Hillis. And he's tackled by Johnstone after a gain of 8. He will be short of the first down at the 42-yard line. And Hillis is limping off. And that could be trouble for the Saskatchewan Huskies.
Yeah, he does have a bit of a limp there.
Kolodinsky back in to punt this one away. 1 man back this time for the Regina Rams. That is Caitlin Schneider. High snap. Kolodinsky pulls it down. Gets an end-over-end kick away. That'll bounce twice in front of Schneider. He peels it up off the snow and is immediately hit by Bryce McCall with his second special teams tackle of the evening. Let's go to the sidelines with Dave Thomas.
Well, Kit Hillis limping off for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies may compound an already bad situation. Receiver Garrett Burgess has not gone out with the offense the last couple of series. You remember he was shaken up when he went on a deep ball, landed on his shoulder. They've been recessing his right shoulder, but he's got to stay loose because he holds on the field goal unit. Don't forget he's the backup because Chase Bradshaw, the backup quarterback who isn't dressed, normally would hold on the field goal. So unfortunately for Garrett Burgess, he's got to stay in this one just to hold field goals even though he's uncomfortable.
And we saw where Garrett Burgess juggled a snap on a point after. So Mike Chiapway with the rock, and he gets rocked a couple of times after a gain of 4. Burgess very important to this Saskatchewan offense. Only 15 receptions this year, but he's done it in 3 games. He's a guy that can produce for you. There you see 1 and 2 hits absorbed by Mike Chiapway after that run of 4.
I don't think you can play for the Huskies if you don't like to hit. Because these DBs are coming up there, dropping shoulder, and you hear the pop way up here.
2nd down and 6, Regina. Inside 3 minutes in this first half. They're down by 6. Mueller zips it quickly. Complete for Smith. Stays on his feet. Gets deep into Saskatchewan territory at the Saskatchewan 34-yard line.
Love the emotion. Fights through the good tackle, the good pop, but you gotta wrap up. You gotta wrap up. You just can't come with a hit. To what Martinez, great hit, but you gotta wrap up. And great shot by Mueller. Right into the vacated zone, just drops it in there, dropping dimes.
Whole lot of smoke coming off that football from Mueller on that last one. 1st and 10 Rams at the Saskatchewan 35. Mueller zips it out. A little too much mustard on that hot dog as it falls incomplete.
That time the Huskies brought a strong hammer, and the Rams picked it up nicely. It's tough to get the little guys on the blitz to understand their footwear, how to do it, especially in this weather with the slippery ground.
Mark Mueller, 9 of 14 for 111 yards. He has yet to find the end zone. Rams send 3 to the left side, 2 to the right on this toss out to the flat, complete for Landon Bush. Was immediately wrapped up by Luke Teal. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 5 yards to go from the 31. And the Regina Rams have been known to go for it in this territory, and I see no indication of the field goal unit getting back out onto the field.
Mark out there playing pitch and catch, but just the way the Huskies played that disciplined zone, you got Luke expanding, making the easy tackle.
Ball's on the 31-yard line. Regina has to get over the 26. Saskatchewan brings the house, and Mueller throws complete for the 1st down. Jared Janata, his favorite target this year, secures the football, and this drive remains alive.
Janata just hype. They bring a sting. That's a safety blitz. McCall comes down. He trips, he stumbles a little bit, and Janata just sits down, just knows exactly where he needs to get to and sits down. Look at the DBs, Martinez and Group just going after the ball.
1st down, Regina. Ball at the Saskatchewan 25. Mueller stands in, checks down, and then just throws the ball away.
Smart, savvy. Yeah, you know what? You're right, Jim. He could. I mean, he's got a lot to teach a young quarterback. And that right there was the smarts. You know, just knowing, don't throw the ball, anywhere. Just, hey, get rid of it. Throw it down, get out of it.
And you see Brian Towers looking on. Mark Mueller getting more fired up, channeling some of that infamous temper that his grandfather had.
Yeah, I think that guy almost cut me.
And we're not talking off the roster.
No, he told me after we ran the last day, and we're out there killing it, he says, David, we're going to let you stick around, but you're not going to make the active roster. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
That's all you could say was thank you.
Yeah, I said thank you, Mr. Lancaster. I didn't even call it coach, it was Mr.
2nd and 10. Rams at the Huskies 25. They go with 4 receivers to the right side. Mueller looks left, and he throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Regina Rams! Addis Addison Richards on the receiving end of a 25-yard strike from Mark Mueller, and we are tied at 9.
The Rams O-line, lots of time. They are working overtime to stop this Husky. I mean, but you have Suter slipping, but still, look at the throw. Addison gets behind. And it's tough because you peek back as a DB. If you peek back as Martinez peeked back a little too soon without having his body on Addison, that's when you get in trouble.
And the point after is up and through. Wasn't an oil painting, but it'll count for one, and the Regina Rams take a 10-9 lead with 1 minute and 27 seconds remaining in this first half.
Regardless of how fast you are, Martinez is a great coverage DB, but when you peek and you don't have your body feeling his body, that's when you get assaulted like that. I mean, that's when you get struck. I mean, that's peeking. Look right here. He gets behind him and he's looking back and he has no body. He's got no sense of reference as to where he is. You can't make a play like that. And especially in this weather, it's compounded.
Martinez was ranked in the top 100 high school seniors in South Texas, coming out of Texas. He came to the Saskatchewan Huskies through a recruiting service, was outstanding in his first game, but quickly found out that there's a whole lot of field in the Canadian game if you're a defensive back, and was put to the bench to learn this game more, and he is getting the start tonight. He's been solid on some occasions, but that time he was burned as Jeffrey Moore brings the ball out across the 35 up to the 38-yard line. Canada West football on Shaw is brought to you by Crown Produce. Crown Produce, putting Canada's greatest retailers together with the world's greatest produce. Crown Produce, proud sponsors of Canada West football on Shaw, and Canadian University Countdown, seen every Thursday night at 6:30 Pacific in Vancouver and on Shaw Direct 299. Buchanan on first down from the 40. Snowshoes his way for a gain of about 4.
You know, you look at, you like to see how far the defensive linemen are, what they're learning, what their progression is of understanding. Right there, watching Charles, he gets upfield great hard, but he knows now, I got to stop. Old Stephon Charles, green Stephon Charles would have been flying through. He stopped and still was able to get a hand on the runner.
Burko, 6 of 14 for 84 yards. The passing game has to start warming up here for the Saskatchewan Huskies as Burko throws it and makes it complete to Kit Hillis, who stretches out and gets the first down. It looked like Burko was dead to rights in the Saskatchewan backfield. Somehow he sidearmed that thing out to Hillis, and Hillis had the presence of mind to stretch out and get the first down.
Burko is impressive, to say the least. I mean, just the idea, I mean, you've got bodies getting crushed in front of you, and he still manages to find Hillis. Look, make a move, get rid of the ball, switch hands, and find Hillis. And Hillis with the spin move. I'm okay, he's telling us up here.
Famulak had him in his sights, but this is a flash of what Drew Burko can be. He's a first-year guy. He's a redshirt. Had a chance to sit back, developed with the world team at the International Bowl, wasn't on the active roster. He impressed a lot of folks stateside, and we're lucky to have him here in the Canada West.
Well, I'm not going to add him on Twitter yet, but I think he's pretty cool though right now.
45 seconds left in this first half. Huskies down by 1. First down, Saskatchewan at their own 49. A pass incomplete, as he was looking for Kit Hillis again, and that's one of those ones that just get dropped in the snow.
I like the flow by Benton Jenny. I mean, the big man gets over there out of that 3 or 1 tech position he's playing right now. He gets out to the sideline in a hurry.
2nd and 10, Saskatchewan. 35 seconds left in the half. Burko on the draw, hands the ball off to Buchanan, and he will be well short of the first down, and it will force a punting situation for the Green Dogs.
Brooks Logan hanging out in the backfield. That's just enough. If you can get a runner to have to alter his path, now you can get the rest of the guys to rally up. And when you let Rams or Huskies, when you let those guys get a chance, get another chance, you're going to get tackled. You're going to get tackled right now.
Jameer Walker along with Caitlin Schneider waiting this punt from Kolodinsky. Who's averaging 33.5 yards per punt. That's about 6 below his average on the year. And you have to wonder if Saskatchewan has a preference of who to kick to here. Schneider's got capable hands back there, but you know what? Jameer Walker, I think, has the ability to sting you. This guy knows how to run north-south on a treacherous surface like this. The return is on as Kolodinsky angles it toward Schneider, who takes it on the run and goes backwards instead of forwards, but the key thing is he holds on to the ball with 18 seconds left. Let's go back to the sidelines with Dave Thomas.
Well, the Regina Rams offense is coming onto the field, and Mark Mueller was talking after that last touchdown pass to Jared Janata. The two of them gathered and they said, you know what, we got to keep capitalizing on the aggressiveness of the Husky defensive backs. He said that was what's able to get them open right now, and they're hoping that they can shed some guys at the line, some defensive backs that are coming up and trying to jam the Regina receivers. That's what they want to continue to work on. They had success on it the last couple of drives.
13 of 20 for 182 yards so far for Mark Mueller, and he does have that touchdown strike. And it's a positive sign if you're a Regina Rams fan that this Regina team is developing a bit of confidence if they want to go after that Saskatchewan defensive backfield as flags are down after that carry by Kiapway of close to 7 yards.
Man, Jeff Hughes is just having a game. He's coming up making sure tackles. This whole secondary understands just how to make a tackle. I mean, it sounds easily done, but it's not. They're not making the rugby tackles like we were talking about this morning. They're making football tackles. They're bringing the pads with them, the feet. They're wrapping up. They're doing the things you love to see.
What's wrong with rugby tackling?
And you want to get thrown out of this window right now? I'm a defensive coach. I want to see you tackle right now, not for a
shoulder,
yard,
head to the
not
side,
carried,
wrap up.
Not carried, no.
We're in an era now where you cannot use your head as a weapon. 11 seconds remaining. Kiapway with the rock. Kiapway gets rocked and rolled out.
Oh man, that's that kid Texas Martinez, top 100. That's really good coming from Texas, top 100.
See this in real time.
Jeez. I think he was probably thinking he was playing against Odessa Perriman or somebody like that. Wow, that's a great hit. You know, and that's something else. You come from Texas that loves its football to Saskatchewan that loves its football. It's an understanding. This is how we play.
It's a natural fit. This will be the final play as Mueller takes a knee of this first half. An interesting first half. The weather made it interesting to start out with. The offenses were spinning their wheels on the ice in the first quarter. Luke Teal with a big recovery for a TD, and then Mueller responds with a TD strike of his own. Let's go downstairs to Dave Thomas. He's got the head coach of the Regina Rams.
Thank you very much, Jim. And, you know, Coach, you get down 9 and they have the fumble recovery go for a touchdown against you, but I think your offense started clicking after that.
Yeah, I think, we're doing okay, but we've got to play smart. I mean, we took penalties. We took 2 15-yarders from, fifth-year players. And we talked about that. You can't do that because that gets you in trouble. And all these games, wherever you are in the semifinals, are going to be tough games. So we can't do that.
You're up by 1, though, at half going in on a night that, may leave some conditions more desirable. What do you tell your team to prepare for the second half?
Well, they have to be patient. They have to make sure they stay away from foolish penalties, keep their wits and head about them. And I think that we can be fine.
Coach, thanks for this. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Head coach Frank McChrystal of the University of Regina Rams. His team leads the Saskatchewan Huskies 10-9 at halftime. Let's go further down the sideline and rejoin Andy Neal.
Many thanks, Dave, and to Frank as well. Coming up at the half, we will have a closer look at Saskatchewan Huskies defensive back Mitch Friesen, and also the Crown Canadian University Countdown crew will give us a CIS postseason preview, along with highlights and analysis with Jim and Dave. All coming up at halftime. The Regina Rams spotted Saskatchewan a 9-0 lead, but lead by 1, the Rams do, at Mosaic Stadium in the first Hardy Cup semifinal of the weekend on Shaw. Well, snowy conditions at Mosaic Stadium in Regina. The host Rams with a 10-9 lead over the Saskatchewan Huskies through one half of play. While the guy that gets much of the credit for the Saskatchewan secondary, and deservedly so, Bryce McCall, who tied the CIS interceptions record career with 21. He got his 21st in week 7 of the season. But leading the way for the Huskies this year was Mitch Friesen, another senior who had 3 interceptions on the year. He had 2 in the final game against the UBC Thunderbirds. And Matt Prefontaine gives us a closer look at Mitch Friesen.
Green on the roll against the grain, steps up, will throw it over the middle, and it's intercepted.
Undefeated in the month of October, the Huskies are howling their way into the playoffs. With 5.5 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery, defensive back Mitch Friesen earned himself CIS Player of the Week honors. Opposing quarterbacks have to pick their poison between he and fellow ball hawk Bryce McCall.
Yeah, people do avoid the middle for sure. The last couple of years I've seen that, and so they start throwing the edge a little bit more, and so I don't know if that helps, but it definitely increases stats a little bit, whether it's B tackles or knockdowns or whatever. So it's definitely a huge help to have a guy like Bryce roaming the middle for us.
Last week, the Saskatoon native was the lead dog in what could be the final home game of his playing career.
Yeah, it was super cool. I mean, I've been running out that tunnel for 4 years now, and to be able to be the guy that came out first and kind of lead the troops out, when I was standing in the tunnel, I turned around and looked at the guys, and it was a pretty cool feeling for sure. Yeah, I mean, growing up, I used to go to the games with my dad, to the Hilltops and the Husky games, and it's definitely tied deep into my roots, and I know a lot of people in Saskatchewan, it's kind of our sport, and so to play for both of them has been a dream come true for sure.
Green has time, throws it up, English is in the neighborhood, and it is picked off.
Having qualified for the playoffs in 12 consecutive years, the U of S football program stands firmly among the CIS elite. However, they have just one postseason win since the 2006 Vanier Cup.
We win football games is the way we turn it around. I mean, I know we have the team here to do it. We kind of laid an egg last time we played Regina, so we're looking to come out strong this week against them for sure.
For the CIS on Shaw, I'm Matthew Prefontaine.
Many thanks, Matthew Prefontaine. Mitch Friesen nearly doubled his interceptions output for his career this season. He had 4 coming in, now 7 to finish off his CIS career. Well, this isn't the only playoff game going on this weekend for the Hardy Cup. We've got tomorrow Calgary and Manitoba starting at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. That is 6 o'clock Central between the Dinos and the Bisons. With the playoff started last weekend out east, and we've got a CIS postseason preview with the Crown Canadian University Countdown crew as they look at what's going to happen or could happen in the CIS postseason.
McMaster hasn't wavered since entering the CIS rankings #1 at the start of this season. Quarterback Kyle Quinlan is making a serious play for this year's Heck Crichton Award, leading the nation in touchdowns and in completion percentage. Next week's opponent for Mac is the Western Mustangs, who took them down to the wire on September 29th, losing narrowly 33-27. Western head coach Greg Marshall's squad is coming off a big offensive outing, posting 56 points on Windsor in a 56-35 first-round victory. These two sides clashed heads before in the 2011 Yates Cup, so revenge will be on the minds of the Mustangs. Western has the predicament of playing quarterback Will Finch this week, who was 20 of 29 with 334 yards and 4 touchdowns last week, or a healed Donnie Marshall, who missed time with an ankle injury. Marshall practiced with the squad before their Windsor game, but didn't see any action. In the RSEQ, the top two dogs, well, there are no surprises. The Montreal Carabins and the Laval Rouge et Or split the season series, with the last game being a 23-20 victory for the Carabins. Laval's playoff pedigree would keep most teams up at night, as they've won the last 9 Dunsmore Cups. The Carabins' two-headed monster this season in the backfield is quarterback Alexander Nedjokios and running back Rotran Seni. They have both posted great numbers thus far in the 2012 campaign. Both teams have defenses that have allowed the fewest points of the CIS, so barring an upset, pick the under if these two battle for the Dunsmore Cup. Out west, the Calgary Dinos had a dominant year, posting lopsided wins against every competitor in the Canada West Conference. The only blemish on the year for the Dinos was a 12-9 loss in Regina against the Rams. Dinos QB Eric Doletsky is the best signal caller not named Quinlan in the country, finishing near or at the top of most of the statistical categories. Calgary's top competition in the conference, well, it's the Regina Rams, who finished second thanks to a very tough defense. The defensive backfield in particular are ball hawks with a nose for causing turnovers. The postseason is sure to have no shortage of drama as teams vie for a place in the 2012 Vanier Cup.
Well, this is the only conference semifinal tonight, but tomorrow there is a full slate of games, starting with St. Mary's and Mount Allison at St. Mary's in the AUS semifinals. In the QUA playoffs, semifinals, Guelph will be home to Queens, and Western is at McMaster. McMaster number 1 ranked.
With that free ball, and he scoops it up and goes into the end zone, David.
Hughes, McCall, I mean the whole group gang tackling and scoop and score, Luke Teal.
Regina eventually would. Mark Mueller would lean back and find Addison Richards in the end zone.
Standing tall in the pocket, injured or not, and just finding Addison with the great catch. The separation mistake by Martinez allowed that to happen.
There you see the halftime stats. The Rams getting things going offensively with 232 yards offensively in comparison to the Huskies 111. That's almost 2-1. But the Rams have to stay away from costly penalties as they have 75 yards already in the penalty category. Let's go downstairs to Dave Thomas.
Much with head coach of the University of Saskatchewan Huskies, Brian Towers. Coach, your defense has put up 9 points on the board. The offense has struggled. What do they need to do to get going?
Yeah, we just have to be a little bit more consistent. We had a couple busts, and we got to complete some passes. And Drew's got to settle in, and I think we got to give him a little more time.
The conditions have been interesting at times. Your return game, though, has been spectacular. What do you need to do to get the players to put the conditions out of their mind and keep going forward?
Well, I think we've done that. I mean, both teams, I think, are executing pretty well given what we have. And it's a heck of a battle right now. And we said it's a 60-mile race, and we're only done 30, so we got to go out and play a great second half.
Coach, thanks for this.
Thank you.
Head coach Brian Towers, University of Saskatchewan Huskies. Let's go back upstairs. Jim and David.
Yeah, speaking of hardy people from Saskatchewan, Dave Thomas is doing a fairly good job down there of keeping warm, I suppose, but looking very cold while he's doing it.
Yeah, that's because he's wearing Bermuda shorts right now. No kidding, Dave. Just kidding. Oh, but this is one of those games where these kids are hitting too. They're normally it gets a little cold. Guys are just wrapping up. No, not here in Saskatchewan. They are bringing it.
Well, I'm a little surprised that this being the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, that the field is only being cleared along the numbers and at the 45-yard line and at the goal line and at the deadline. I'm supposing that if we had a weather night similar to this, and if there was a CFL game in town, they'd bring out the heavy-duty snow blowers for this.
Without doubt. But we have to. The crew has been on it. They had the big trucks plowing the field before the game with precision. And yeah, they're. Hey, if the kids aren't slipping too much, I'm sure they're gonna let them run.
Well, you saw the wide shot there. There's a group of fans that have made the trip down from Saskatoon over on the opposite side stands. But you know what? I am fairly impressed with the 2,000 or so Regina Rams fans that are huddling in the stands and keeping warm through various means.
But why not sit over here? Really? You can
it's because the Huskies are over there.
Yeah, but you can sit over here. Just as good. Make a little loud pocket over there or underneath the shelter here. Oh, that's Saskatoon. They hardy, like they were saying, hardy people.
Hardy people, and one of these teams will be off to the Hardy Cup after this. They will play the winner of the Manitoba Calgary game, which will be on at 5 o'clock Mountain Time tomorrow on Shaw TV and Shaw HD 303. Still a half to go. Maybe even a little bit of overtime here at Mosaic Stadium, as the Saskatchewan Huskies will be kicking off to the Regina Rams. Huskies wearing the white uniforms with the green pants. The Regina Rams wearing the green tops with the gold pants. And we are underway for second half action here, as it's picked up by Jameer Walker on the hop. He gets across the 30, up close to the 34-yard line. So decent field position for the Rams to start out this second half with. And let's take a look at those two quarterbacks. Mark Mueller really warmed up there towards the second half of that second quarter.
Mark is finding his groove, starting to get back into it. Drew he has seen so many different looks, and then the whole part about not being able to get a handle on the ball, that's huge right now for a kid that throws a ton.
So first down, Regina Rams, ball at their own 33. They will keep it on the ground with Kiapwe, who drives into the line. Eskelson is there along with Joel Suter to stop him for a limited gain.
Just a great standoff. You got big Rabinski in there eating up blockers, taking them back. If you can hold ground in the snow, you stand a good chance to stop a running game. And he's a big old kid. Look at him. Oh, man, big 56.
Pride of Kinestino, Saskatchewan.
Where do they grow there? Wow.
They grow Rabinskis. Second down and 8. Mueller over the middle. It's complete. And Colton Solomon finds his way to a first down after breaking the tackle and taking it across the 45.
You know what I like about that, besides the laser that Mark Mueller just delivers here? Look, don't just zip the hands. all hands. Solomon just all hands, puts the ball away, and has the nerve to run north and south. I mean, just great. Just impressive group right there.
Colton Solomon with 3 receptions so far for 30 yards. As on first down, they keep it on the ground with Kiapway, and he drives his way toward the midfield stripe.
Working a trap, looks like right there. A nice trap inside. Get your pulling guard. And, I mean, just opens it up for Kiapway running. What? North and south. That's the bigger back, beating you up constantly. After a while, fourth quarter is going to come around, and it may not be good for tacklers. They're going to start, backing off a little bit.
2nd and 5, Regina. Ball at their own 54. And they will keep it on the ground with Kiapway again. He can't bounce away, though, and he is wrapped up after a gain of maybe 1. Seamus Neary on the scene to stop that play and essentially stop the Regina drive.
Well, I'd say a majority of his runs, Kiapway's runs tonight, have been start inside, bounce it outside. Well, you start to close that door now for the Huskies. You start to close that edge. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to have an easy tackle because you can't do anything else. You definitely can't cut back inside.
Chris Bodner averaging 38.7 yards per punt. This is a low driving punt that will force Teal back to his own 15. Breaks the first wave and the second wave. And gets it up to about the 22-yard line.
We were just talking to Rob Vanstone and Hamilton at halftime, and we were talking about Corey Sheets' ability to start inside and bounce out. Now, Kiapway, he doesn't really have that sort of speed, but he's working at it. But now they're going to have to get back to running inside the tackles now, inside the tackles.
Only 111 yards passing for Drew Burko in that first half. Let's see if he starts to warm up his game here. On first down from the 21, pass over the middle, incomplete. Not getting help from Jeffrey Moore. He would have secured it. It would have been close to the first down.
You catch a pass in that linebacker shallow zone area, you got to expect you're going to take a little heat. And that's just one of those. Moore looked like he did a great job finding the ball, but he's got to put it away right now.
2nd and 10, Saskatchewan. Charlie Power in motion to the left side. As Burko looks right, throws. Hillis has it at the 29. And he's taken to the turf right away by Cody Johnstone, who is having one heck of a game.
Yes, he is. I mean, you're not just covering any old receiver. You're covering Hillis out there, man. I mean, and the way he's just, hey, I'm going to stay with you, snow or not. Look at that, downhill, form tackle, wrap him up, bring him down. I mean, look at that. He's breaking downhill on the ball just as the ball's coming out. That is confidence.
Gain of 8 by Hillis. That leaves Saskatchewan 2 yards short of the first down, so it's time for the punting unit. Kolodinsky. That's an okay one again. Wave that's fielded by Schneider at the 50. Gets into Saskatchewan territory at the 53 as there are flags down. Back of the play. Let's go back to the sidelines with Dave Thomas.
Well, Jimmy alluded to the field conditions earlier. Yes, they've gone ahead and they've reswept the sidelines, the yard lines, and the hash marks. The interesting spot to watch on the field, though, is between the hash marks and those numbers as the field is starting to become compacted. Now, the players are saying that it's still soft, but a lot of them have been checking their footwear. I know the Regina Rams especially have been making extra sure to clean off their shoes and cleats as they go onto the field. They've got a number of brushes on the sidelines. The Huskies do not have that, but that area between the hash marks and the numbers, that's what we're going to have to continue to watch for here, I think, in the second half.
Well, it's a bit of a heavy traffic area, no doubt about that. Usually the area that we're focused on, especially with special teams, is between the number and the boundary. But that's interesting because as these running backs try to bounce out from between the hash marks, that's usually the place where they get mowed down.
Yes, yes.
So Roughing call tacked onto that return, moves the ball up to the 37. Fantastic field position for the Regina Rams to start out with on this first down play. Mueller throws the hitch and it falls incomplete. He's looking for Colton Solomon. Solomon couldn't find the handle.
Now that's one of those situations, you see, he's coming back towards the ball, but he's reaching out. So I'm wondering if he was supposed to come back another step. So now he's not reaching behind him to try to catch it, to only try to turn it up. But he had a big buddy coming out there to ready to knock off one of the tacklers if he would have made that catch happen.
Solomon comes out wide to the right side with Landon Bush. Addison Richards wide to the left side with Jared Janata on this second down play. Mueller plants, throwing deep. He's got a man and it's incomplete. He was looking for Solomon, and Mitch Friesen was in the neighborhood along with Bryce McCall.
Great thought, I like that. You're gonna show us the out, little pump fake there. Try to work the out and up, and that's not bad, but hey, great coverage. Great coverage.
Well, Mitch Friesen has had a terrific week, starting with that game against the UBC Thunderbirds. Now there's some confusion with the Saskatchewan Huskies personnel. I wonder if they've got more than 12 men out there as they were counting heads, as Regina puts the punting unit out, as Bodner angles it out at the 1 yard line. Can you find a punt better than that in these conditions? Bodner. That is pro.
Bodner just nailing the coffin corner. That's exceptional, Joe. That's an exceptional kid.
Canadian Football League, pay attention to this kid. I know the Saskatchewan Roughriders had a look at him.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow, that's like putting it around the guard and placing it on the button.
Yeah, call your shot. Call your shot. Great athlete, too. Yeah, I think he's got a little future for him in that other league, the big kids league.
First down, as on the ground, the Huskies will get about 2 with Buchanan. Bring it out to the 3 yard line.
Brooks just doing just a great job eating up the blocker. Now he slides off and makes a play on the tackler.
Hillis wide to the left side. Stevens wide to the right. Brings 2 inside receivers with him to the short side. On this 2nd and 8 play, Burko sails it up over the middle. Not in the neighborhood of Jeffrey Moore, and there are flags down on the far side of the field, well away from the football.
Okay, now. Okay. We're going to have to look at that replay.
Yeah, we'll have the opportunity to look at a replay on this one.
Pass interference. Regina, number 15. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
What's the rule then on
Pass interference, the call against Kirby Kazama. And they're calling the interference over on the far side on Kit Hillis. That was well away from the football. Could be illegal contact, actually, on a receiver instead of pass interference if that's where the call was. On first down, Huskies keep it on the ground, and there goes Buchanan across the 25 up to the 26. That's a good gain on first down, and that's the type of production the Huskies need to get the run setting up the pass.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, you got a bit of a different play there. You got great cut block inside. Great cut block inside. Running back just found a nice little hole because of the cut block on the 1-tech.
Gain of 7 by Buchanan, so it's second down and a short 3 for Saskatchewan at their own 26. Burko Handing the ball off to Buchanan, and he is wrapped up as he hits the line of scrimmage. Benton Gianni seals up that present for the Regina defense.
Gianni wants to see. You had everything on the edge, on the strong side. The flow side was closed up. Gianni with a great 8, just tracked it down. Look at that. That's an active interior defender, just tracking the play down.
6'3", 280-pound Benton Gianni at a Unity, Saskatchewan.
Brian's not happy.
That's bullshit! That's bullshit! The sticks are over here!
Well, we saw Brian Towris in a similar situation out at UBC back on September 15th where he wanted a measurement. He should be able to get a measurement there, especially with the ball on the opposite side of the field. I think he's got a legitimate beat. So it's 3rd and 1, and the Huskies will have to punt this one away. Kolodinski almost blocked. Morrison had a shot at it. And here's Schneider, who's tripped up by Bryce McCall. And I know the knock on Bryce McCall as a defensive back is that he's a little slow of foot, but you know what? He's made 3 special teams tackles, and that's a way for a 5th-year guy to find his way into a CFL roster. And Caitlin Schneider, the wide receiver for the Huskies, for the Regina Rams, is hurt.
Okay, so why that kick was not blocked? Because Morrison jumped up in the air instead of reaching out. You gotta reach out, don't jump up, and you have to cross your hands. You reach out, you take it right off the foot, you don't jump up. Now that's what you gotta do, but you have to have football awareness to know, look how close I am. So you reach out. If you had a camera on us right now, you reach out for his foot.
But the one thing that threw off Mitch Morrison's angle was Kolodinski took 2 side steps, took a side step and a half. So instead of coming in on that wide angle, when Kolodinski moved to the right, all of a sudden his angle was fouled up.
Right, and that's where I said you have to, if you're that guy that's coming to block a punt and you're the last one, you have to watch Morrison.
There's the step off of the hash mark.
See, and he jumps though, but he's right on track. I mean, he's right there, but he jumps. You don't jump.
So Schneider is off to the bench and will have his leg looked at. Regina starts out 1st and 10 from their own 51, and they will not find any yards on the ground this time. Famous Neary in there, amongst others.
You got a host of Huskies.
Neary making the stop as well.
But this is where, Jim, though, if you're going to try to run downhill in that A-B gap, you really have to do some work to get those guys out of there.
Gain of maybe 2 feet on that last one. We'll call it 2nd down and 9 for the Rams at their own 51. Bueller zips it to the sidelines, complete for Addison Richards, who stretches out across the 45 as he was wrapped up by Travoy Martinez. But that will be a gain of 14 and a 1st down for the Regina Rams.
We've got so many little battles going on. You got Martinez and Addison going after it. I mean, this is great football. I mean, forget the snow. They're getting after it with the coverage, with the passing.
Richards wide to the left side, Solomon wide to the right. On this 1st down play from the 45, Kiapway blasts through the line. Is eventually taken to the turf by Seamus Neary. Flags down all over the place. And could this be another undisciplined penalty by the Regina Rams? Chris Mercer was tagged with a 15-yarder back in the 2nd quarter for an unnecessary roughness call. He seems to be rather animated after the play. And it's the thing we pointed out at halftime, David, that the Rams cannot afford to take stupid penalties.
That's beyond silly. Look at that.
He did it again.
The kid had stopped. I mean, Hughes had stopped, completely not even trying to. I mean, he stopped. No.
He did it again.
No,
you would think he would learn from the first time, getting a 15-yard penalty, forcing his team back to the 5-yard line. Here, he puts them squarely behind the 8-ball now.
That is not hard-nosed football. Sorry.
They move the ball back to the 55-yard line. It's 2nd and 20. Mueller back to pass, throwing it long, throwing it up for Landon Bush, who goes up and gets that football. Landon Bush extending for the football down at the 25-yard line. Fantastic catch, and that is how you convert a 2nd and 20.
Wow, they caught him in that soft zone, and Landon Bush just makes the catch. I mean, look at that, lays out. Look at the focus, eyes on ball. He knows it's coming down hard. That's just great. That's excellent.
And you know what? That is great positioning by Braxton Lawrence as well on defense. He was in the neighborhood. He made the hit, but Bush secures it. And it's 1st down for the Rams at the Saskatchewan 26. Mueller pumps once, then looks to the end zone, and it's incomplete. He almost connected with Colton Solomon, who was trying to fight through coverage down by the goal line. The downs box will switch to 2.
I love it. I have to say, I love all these battles. The confidence involved, the focus by the receivers, the coverage by the DBs. Somebody, look at that. See, Martinez learned this time. He's not peeking. He's not peeking until late. He's trying to do both. Look at that. That's locking in, but he had a step on it. Solomon had a step on it.
2nd and 10, Regina at the 26. Mueller throwing up the seam. Bush has got it again!
Oh, no, we may have to check him for Stickum. Oh, the ball Velcro hands.
You know what? Only 2 catches for 48 yards during the regular season for Landon Bush. He's doubled his effort tonight on this drive alone with 2 fantastic catches.
Look at that. Concentration.
They mark the ball at the 11. This means that the Rams don't have to get into the end zone to get that 1st down. The give to Kiapway. Breaks through the wave and gets down just short of the 1-yard line.
Kiapway is showing me so much right now as a runner with the patience and the vision. I mean, just setting up blockers, knows when to take it outside, gives him the shoulder, just to get in a little power.
He turnstile Travoy Martinez there.
Yeah.
The ball just short of the 1-yard line. The Rams have to get to the half-yard line to get the 1st down. It's 2nd down and a yard to go. Kiapway wrapped up by David Rubinski amongst others. And that should be for no gain.
Too many steps. Defensive line got off the ball, got into their gaps, and then got further upfield. Watch him here. I mean, look at Rubinski. He gets rid of his blocker and finds the ball carrier.
Just a little when they come this way.
I mean, that's just great defensive line play by the big kid, Rubinski.
So the Regina Rams elect to call a timeout here with 3:59 remaining in this 3rd quarter. They're up by 1. The ball's marked on the 2-yard line. The Rams need 1.5 yards to get a 1st down, 2 yards to get a touchdown. And this is where that placement on the 11-yard line, that 10.5-yard line, almost works like a bonus for you.
Yes, and I'm not sure which way to go. Do you just sit there and go for the 1st or the touchdown, or do you just go for the kick, the 3-pointers, the 3-pointer?
Well, we've seen with the Regina running game, when they've had failure, It's because they haven't gone north-south.
Yes.
It's because they've tried to stretch and see.
Yes.
And when that's happened, the front seven of the Saskatchewan Huskies have been more than equal to the task. Have been able to blast the gas. It's going to be an interesting call here for the Regina Rams. 3rd and 1.5. Ball on the 2-yard line. Landon Bush in at quarterback. He calls his own number, stretches over the goal line, and gets the touchdown. But there are flags down on the play, so hold the phone.
I wonder if the Huskies probably lined up offsides down here.
Offside against the Saskatchewan Huskies, and the Regina Rams go up by a converted touchdown.
Offside. Huskies, number 64. Huskies, number 3. That penalty is declined. Touchdown stands.
Offside against Braxton Lawrence. Zacharias had a shot at Landon Bush, who managed to score his 3rd touchdown on the ground this year as he's come in on that short yardage unit. Now the point after is up, and it is through, so it's an 8-point gap now in favor of the Regina Rams with 3:56 remaining in this 3rd quarter. And it is time for the Saskatchewan Huskies offense to respond with something.
Oh, they've got to. They've got to, but they haven't been able to. Erko hasn't been able to figure out this defense, this Rams defense right now. And when you hit a quarterback enough, you get a quarterback a little gun shy. And see, the goal line issue, you always have those little pencil neck DBs wanting to be tough. I always like to say on the goal line, and they don't know. You got to line up a yard off the ball still. You just can't itch your way up there. And the refs are really good at making sure the little kids that shouldn't be up there in the first place are on line, on the proper, not lined up offsides.
So the Regina Rams will kick off with just under 4 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter, up by 8, 17-9. And Moore will take it, and he'll take it right up the number. Across the 45, boots the ball out of bounds. Regina signaling that they should have the football as they left contact with the football. And this is going to be interesting. The officials are going to have a bit of a powwow here to try to figure this one out. Regina Rams football. We've got to see this on replay. We have got to see this one on replay. Now the ball comes loose. Is that a kicking motion as the ball goes out of bounds? Goes off a Husky. Yep, that is a kicking motion, and that should be Saskatchewan football.
Yes.
That should be Saskatchewan football.
Wow.
That is a blown call that the Regina Rams are going to try to take advantage of here. Kiapway makes a cut as Mark Mueller gets hit late behind the scene, and that should have been a penalty as well against Zacharias. And the officials are starting to lose control of this game.
You took the words right out of my mouth, buddy. They are losing control of the game here because you do not let the quarterback get hit like that. I will forgive the kick.
Yeah, that's a tough call to make, but it is a kicking motion, and if the ball is kicked out of bounds, it should have been Saskatchewan football in that case.
But that hit on Mark Mueller is not acceptable.
Gain of 6 on that last play. 2nd down and 4. Kiapway thunders ahead across the 45 down to the 44. He'll be about a yard short of the 1st down.
Kiapway's showing me a little something here. He's getting on his toes. a little bit lighter, making guys miss. The first tackler missed, and then getting forward for positive yards with all these guys all around him and showing some ball security. Hopefully I didn't jinx him on that one, but he's doing some good work working inside in this game right now.
Third down, 2 yards to go. Chris Bodner will come in to punt this one away. The last time he was in this position, he put the ball out at the half-yard line on one bounce.
Well, if he can angle it to the right, put it on the sideline on this one, we got to sign him somewhere.
Bodner angling it towards the sideline. And that one goes off Moore, and it goes out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So the Huskies manage to dodge a bullet on that turnover on the kickoff return, and will take the ball just outside their own 20.
Yes, now if Bodner would have been able to nail that one on the 2 or the 3, I mean, that shows great directional punting skills. That's placement. I mean,
Well, to not only be able to angle it, but angle it in weather like this, on a field like this.
Yes.
Pretty fantastic punting. Well, rough play call for that hit over by the sideline. Adds 15. And the Huskies will start 1st and 10 at their own 35. Going quads to the right side. Sending Hillis all alone wide to the left side with Buchanan in the backfield. A new look for Saskatchewan's offense. Quick throw, and it is incomplete, as that one was thrown towards the boot tops of Kit Hillis.
Wow. Talking to Jameer Walker before the game, he's a very cool kid, very good kid, very respectful, but he has got a great knowledge of this game and how to play the corner position. He's another one. I hope he gets a chance in the CFL. Just watching him in that last, how cool he was with that, he knew that play was coming. And that was a great break on the ball, even in the snow.
Trips to the short side on 2nd and 10 from the 35. Regina brings 6, and the ball's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Ryan Wellman says no way, shuts it down, and forces the Saskatchewan Huskies into a punting situation.
Ryan Wellman from the VI Raiders, one of Doug Hawkins' kids. Look at 6'6", gets the hands up, Timing was perfect there. If it would have been better if he would have caught it, I would have added it on my Facebook. But that's perfect right there. I mean, look at that. Hands up. That is better than a sack. And he saved a huge play, because that had been completed. It would have been lights out.
By the way, Ryan Wellman also with 3 sacks this year as well. He has really stepped up on this defensive front. Kolodinsky punting this one away. Jameer Walker will take it at his own 38. Bounces across the 40. And guess what? Guess who? Bryce McCall with another special teams tackle. Mark it down as 4 special teams tackles for McCall. Let's go back downstairs to Dave Thomas.
Okay, guys, just rewind on our PVRs here for a second to that kickoff. I was trying to get an explanation. Now, there is a dribbling rule in football where you can kick the football, but that's not what the ruling was on the field. They felt that it was incidental contact and not a clear-cut kick, so it goes off a Ram player out of bounds. That's why Regina was able to get possession of the football on the kickoff.
That was huge by Dave. That's okay. I can see that incidental, but I didn't know if you could do that or not.
He knew where the sideline was. 1st and 10, Regina. Mueller had plenty of time and threw complete to his new favorite target, Landon Bush, for a gain of 9 up to the 50.
Jim, I'll tell you right now, the Huskies are going to have to switch this defense up, this 30 front, because Mueller and his receivers are picking the spots. Look at that right there. Sit down in the zone, right underneath the linebackers. You know, right underneath the DBs, right in back of the linebackers. Great little spot, and Mueller will get you the ball.
Mueller comes out of the game. Landon Bush steps up in this short yardage unit on 2nd down and 1 yard to go from the 49. Bush just puts his head down and follows the right side surge of Brendan Bennett at center and Steve Hansen at right guard, and gets the 1st down.
Just so many guys are just showing up, making the plays. I mean, This is what people remember. I mean, this is the legacy of the guy. Catches, you know, in the weather, the throws, the tackles.
The third quarter. Have to investigate what the red nylon's all about.
Because I could just sense it, like I could sense him like coming back.
So the Huskies caught cheating up on short yardage. That will Oh, and he will get a gain of about. You're very. Off.
Stadium 31-9. The University of Regina Rams knock off the Saskatchewan Huskies. U of R quarterback Mark Mueller. What did you say after you were down 9-0? Something happened that really turned your offense on.
Not really. We were just killing ourselves. We gave them the 9 points. We drove down the first drive, screwed it up. Second drive, we take a couple penalties. We were just pissing away our own points, kind of thing. So we knew that we could drive the ball, and we got a lot of guys who can make plays, and we knew it was just a matter of time before it happened.
Obviously, everyone was worried about your health coming in. It didn't show any ill effects whatsoever.
I got to give that up to the O-line. The O-line played unbelievable. I didn't get sacked. The only time I got hit is the guy took a cheap shot at me. But, those guys played great, and I could make all the throws, and as long as I can stay on my feet, hopefully we make defenses pay.
Now, obviously, I heard one point you were talking to some of the receivers on the sideline. They're really trying to bite hard, and you were able to throw a couple out and ups for touchdowns.
Yeah, we caught a guy, trying to be a hero kind of thing. DBs, if you're young and inexperienced like that, they'll do that. And that guy didn't talk as much as he usually does, so that's too bad.
Now, I know that you're probably not going to answer this, but so it's either going to be Calgary or Manitoba next week. Do you care?
No, we're just glad to be there. We'll celebrate tonight. We'll have a good time, and we'll probably all watch that game as a team tomorrow. And whoever comes, it's gonna be a hell of a game. Those guys are both big, tough, rough teams, and hopefully they beat each other up a bit, and then we see them next week.
Now, Mark, before I let you go, this might have been your final game on this turf here at Mosaic Stadium. Is it emotional at all?
I know it's a lot of good memories happen here. We play all our high school here. We play a lot of our minor football here, and it means a lot. There's a lot of us that are, about 30 of us that are in our last year here, and our goal was to be undefeated at home and win a home playoff game, and we've done that. And we said everything would fall into place after that. So we got a big game next week, and hopefully we keep playing. Hopefully we got 3 more weeks.
Mark, thanks for this, and all the best next week.
Thanks, guys.
Mark Mueller, quarterback at the University of Regina Rams. Let's go back upstairs and rejoin Jim Mullins and David Benefield.
I told our director, I said, you got to get over there and talk to Mark Mueller because he's a firecracker when it comes to an interview.
Yes.
I love how candid this kid is when you put a microphone in front of him. He might be challenging for your job sometime.
Hey, we will have to take a bar of soap down to him. Boy.
Talk about frittering away one's chances. His favorite target on the night, at least his big target at key times, was Landon Bush. We talked to him a little bit earlier. Landon Bush is our guy for the play of the game. Mueller hooking up to Landon Bush for the 63-yarder.
Landon just was on fire. The hands, he was in a completely different zone. The focus, the concentration, and then just the wherewithal just to know when to get down, when to go up in the air, when to make the run. Just perfect tonight.
Yeah, and the funny thing is he's one of those guys that steps up in a big game. Only 2 receptions coming into this game this entire season. In this game, he ended up with 6 for 130 and 1 touchdown. A great night by Landon Bush. The Regina Rams are off to the Hardy Cup final. We're going to be off to Calgary, but we'll wrap up after this on Crown Canada West Football on Shaw.
Well, it was a truly snowy night here in Regina, but you wouldn't know it by what the offense did for the Rams this evening in a 31-9 victory over the Saskatchewan Huskies in the first of 2 Hardy Cup semifinals. So Regina gets a date with either Calgary or Manitoba, and that will be decided tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 6 Central, as the Bisons and Dinos lock horns in the other semifinal. So Regina is through. Best of luck to them against either Calgary or Manitoba. For all of you, thanks so much for watching. For Jim Mullen, Dave Benefield, Dave Thomas, and the rest of the Shaw crew, I'm Andy Neal. Thanks so much again, and good night from Regina. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night in Calgary.